Bam, cold open. What's up, everybody? Man, appreciate y'all. Just got off that other stream. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all got something positive. Obviously, something today. You know, we're double dipping on the topic. We got that. Hold up. Got to pause this other screen. Oops. I'm hearing myself. I'm hearing myself. I'm hearing myself. Cool. In case I decide to work the poll, but we are going to react to and open the panel up for anybody that wants to talk about that Ebony K. Iyanla conversation. I thought it was interesting. We said mostly about Yanni's perspective because it was pretty stupid. But the actual interview was not a bad interview at all. So we are going to get right into it, good people. Yeah, let's see.
Us today on the Griot. I want to start, dear, with something that we share. Which is that we are both attorneys by trade. You are a lawyer, you have a legal background. And as women in the law, Iyanla, do you believe that lens, that legal lens, informs our perspective and the way we show up in the world as women?
What up, Nova?
Absolutely, and that's why I got out. Yeah, very, very masculine, very intellectual, almost stripped and robbed of humanity. It really shows the dichotomy between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. And for me, it just didn't feed my soul. And so I had to get out.
I feel that, and I do feel that I might have heard on a date or two, Iyanla, that we are not in a courtroom, Ebony. You can put the gavel down, and I do feel it can spill over into the way I show up in my womanhood, which is really the center of this conversation today, Iyanla. We want to discuss masculine energy, feminine energy. I do want to start with kind of a news framing, which is that women's rights across the country, especially Black women's rights, they're under attack. Lots of
Man, before she gets in, I do want to be fair though. It really is hard to sit your job down a lot. It's hard to sit your job down. Like if you're an accountant, most accountants I know, they use a lot of accounting terms. And people I know that know how to fix cars, they like, well, let me look at that. If they hear something, let me look at that. I'll take a look at it. I'll check it out. It's hard to sit your job down. But man, I really hate the excuse, but what's not common is for people to carry the energy of their job. Like you can have the traits. Like I would expect the lawyer to ask a lot of questions, but I wouldn't expect the lawyer to prosecute me on a date, which is different. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have the skills.
One to always have. My bad. It's a delay. My bad.
You said or what?
No, or like to have that argumentative kind of debate back and forth type of, like I'm saying, always trying to have a difference of opinion, that type of shit.
Yeah, I mean that stuff would get old, but I mean, you know, she acknowledged it, but it's still like, what was it, Brie or whatever said, man? Just because you're aware of it, don't mean you're gonna do anything to change it, to do anything different. So that's what we've seen with her specifically. That's definitely a thing.
Laws are banning abortions. They are regulating what we can and cannot do with our bodies. What do you think happens for Black women when this type of siege is at play and we don't feel we have anyone to protect us?
Right. Well, the first thing I think we do is we go into anger. We go into anger without a clear ask. Doesn't make sense to be angry unless you got to ask, what is it that you're asking for? People can say anything in the world, but that doesn't mean that they get a right to do it. It doesn't mean that they get a right to affect you. But because so many of us are programmed and conditioned and educated to think like men, we respond like men. And when I mean men, I don't mean two-legged beasts. I mean in the masculine energy, and it becomes competitive, it becomes aggressive, it becomes againstness. And that's not who we are as women. It just isn't. And I think for Black women, particularly for
what up,
us,
man, Drill? I'm gonna pause that real quick because that's something I don't know why I never thought of it before, but it hit me, and when it hit me, it was so clear. Like we use that wrong a lot. Like we talk about the masculine and the feminine, but if everybody does it, then it's not masculine and feminine. if anybody can do it and inhabit that energy and inhabit it long term, like if anybody can just be an aggressive person, then they're just aggressive. Aggression should not be assigned a gender. That should not be a gender concept. Because everything she just said, women can do it, and that can become part of their personality. So if that's a part of your base package, that doesn't make you masculine. You're just aggressive, and you're competitive. Women are competitive too. The way they dress and the things they buy is typically based on some sort of internal competition. So that whole thing about ascribing things to men and women, especially since we're supposed to be so progressive, supposed to be so left leaning, we got to get away from calling stuff masculine and feminine that does not have a clear tie-in to a manhood or womanhood. But that's just me. But what's up, man, Drill?
What's up, Marshawn? What's up, Yellow? I guess he went AFK. Oh, there he is, right there. Yeah, this is interesting. It's always the pretty ones, ain't it?
What's that? There was that thing with the crazy and the hot, the hot and crazy chart.
Yeah, I mean, it's people talk about this nonsense about pretty privilege, but there's something to it. I'm not saying that it's dead on, spot on, but there's something to it. I've noticed that girls who are really pretty and know it, they do have a different attitude from women who are pretty and don't know that they're pretty or don't think that they're pretty. Yeah. Confidence is one thing, but just arrogance and thinking you're better than other people is another. It's like you said when you talked about don't talk down to the bus driver. The look on her face, and then the response she gave. If he owned the bus, here's the thing: you're married, right? Yeah. Then what does it matter? You're taking your resources and his resources, and you combining them together. If you're not doing without now, how would you be doing without with him? You understand, right? It's now our money, not just yours, not just mine. We are working our respective professions and putting in as much in the pot as we can to provide for ourselves. If I'm putting in $20, if I'm putting in $100, but you're only putting in 20, we're in the same boat as if the roles were reversed. And here's my thing. Okay, she said, I'm not dating. The women say, I'm not dating down. I'm not dating down. He's got to have more than me. So you're asking the man to date down. You're okay with that. You're okay with asking him to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. How does that work? He's supposed to. No. He's supposed to provide. Provide you with what? That's never been made clear. And I can provide you with comfort, emotional support, counsel. I can provide you with all that. I'm still providing. So how does that not count? This is why no one knows how much money I got. I don't trust shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you trust a woman? Like, even the pretty ones like Ebony, my God. And I would date her too. No, that's
the problem. Most men would.
Yeah,
you see her, most men would date her, but that's the problem. Like in the last video, we need to start choosing based on character. And I think Dr. Miles Monroe went through an excellent list. Even though he's talking about leadership, he was talking about our ideal traits for a person to possess to be a whole human being. So man or woman, they should be carrying those characteristics. I thought it was great. But yeah, we'll look at the outside and run with that. And that's the outcomes. The outcomes that we're getting from that are problematic. We got to do something different.
And if I tell her to slow down, why slow down? No, you're moving too fast. She needs to listen. Like, Ebony's not going to be submissive. Let's be honest. She's not going to let the man lead. Let's be honest. She's not. She'll let him lead until it's something she doesn't want to do. Until she will allow the guy to lead until it's something contrary to what she thinks is the right way to go. And what man in the class that she's shopping in is going to tolerate that? Why should? Because the way he's looking at it is, I ain't got to take this. I can get another you right now. Not tomorrow, not today, not after breakfast, now. So why would he stay there and take that? And she's like, he's never been in a position to protect. What do you mean? Protect you from what? And don't women say all the time, we don't need you for protection. We can buy weapons. We can buy a gun. I can learn how to shoot it. That's right. I can take martial self-defense classes. Okay, then go do that. Then why are you asking me to do it for you then? Why? You know what I'm saying? And women like this, even if she finds a man who has the same mindset, it's going to be very difficult for her to step back and allow him to do it. It's hard for women who are in their late 30s and they've had to climb the ladder themselves for the most part to step back and let the man take charge. Because they think, well, a man's going to lead. He's just going to come in and he's just going to lead. No, you have to allow him to lead. You can't lead someone who doesn't want to be led. If I'm going one direction and this is the way I'm leading you to, you want to go. If I'm going straight, if I'm going north, but you want to go east, you're not letting me lead. You're not following. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say the guy isn't leading. You're just not following.
Man, what up, Bree? Hello. And we got Truth and Purpose next is Tap In. What up, my guy? I appreciate everybody for being here. I'm going to hit play on this real quick. Well, come on now.
The way that we've been programmed and conditioned and educated in the society to expect less, to accept less, to be angry and to complain, but to not really step into our authentic self, our authentic power as women, and create what we want, even if that's create the demand. Oh, no, not here, not today.
Okay, I hear you articulating, Iyanla, this masculine energy traits, the competitiveness, the assertiveness. Tell me how you would frame feminine traits. Aggressive. Okay.
Grace.
Aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive, not assertive. It's okay for a woman to be assertive. Grace, first of all.
So then, is it then the supposition that it's okay for a man to be aggressive? So if it's not okay for a woman to be aggressive, then the assumption would be, well, then it must be okay for a man to be aggressive. Or is it just not okay for anybody to be aggressive, like as a constant state? I'm saying, I think we need to take away the gendered language, because we're looking for assertive men and women. Like that would be the ideal balanced state between everybody being able to speak up for themselves. To me, I think that would be the ideal. But I think leaning on that language of a man is aggressive and a woman shouldn't be aggressive. I think an aggressive person is just an aggressive person, man or woman. A competitive person, man or woman. That's not making you masculine. I think we need to get away from that.
Well, I think it's okay to be aggressive when the occasion calls for it. The thing is, that occasion rarely comes up to be aggressive. Assertive is fine. You have to be assertive in all different facets of life, a lot more than you would be aggressive. The problem is a lot of people don't know the difference. People will see a person being assertive as you being domineering and being bossy or something like that. But then when you're aggressive, for some reason, people like that. Like and that's the dangerous part, though, the aggressive part. Like I don't understand that. Again, that's something I don't understand. People ask for it, but then when they get it, they don't want it. Like they'll ask for all these qualities in a man, but the kind of man that Ebony's looking for, the problem she's run into is that kind of guy is not going to tolerate bad attitude. And I think I don't know her, obviously, but she strikes me as a person who has a bad attitude. It's unfair for me to say because I don't know her, but just going off what I've seen of her, I've seen her on the Breakfast Club. I've seen her. I follow her on Instagram, just to support her or whatever. She's a Black woman doing her thing out there, So Instagram follows are free. You know what I'm saying? So that I do that to support her. I mean, but if she is a person with a bad attitude and doesn't follow the guy, and doesn't let the guy leave the guy space to be a man, she's gonna run into issues. Because you have to work with a person in a relationship. And the way it's sounding from her there's only a certain type of dude that she will work with. And she says she's having problems dating, and she's dating in her same class or higher, and it's not working for her. How long is it going to take, do you wager? And Yellow, you too. What's the over under on her not figuring out that she's the problem in the next 7 years?
Man, she'll keep moving the goalposts. Go ahead, Yellow.
Shit over. These chicks don't never figure out they the problem, and they don't want to hear nobody else tell them they the problem. That's all this internal self-love, all this other. It really doesn't teach them how to be better outward people. It just teaches them how to love themselves more. It's just a lot of affirmations and confirmations. A lot of it is, yeah, you doing good. It's just the world around you. That's why I'll be like, this retrograde shit is some bullshit. God forbid you give women another.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, God forbid you give women another reason to blame something on something that's not their fault. Your bad behavior on Earth is bad. You bugging up on Earth because Mercury doing a loop de loop. Yeah, I'm good.
Real quick, man. Truth sent me. I forgot about this. He did say this yesterday, man. Today is Truth's birthday, man. So happy birthday, Truth. You did put in the message about a Cash App, man. You feel free to put that in the chat. That will be up to the people. Again, it is Truth's birthday, man. Happy birthday. Don't know what age you are turning, but happy birthday to you, sir.
Happy 63rd birthday, Truth.
Happy birthday.
What's up again, Dury and Reza? Good to see y'all.
I'm just going by how he looks in the picture.
Oh boy! I hope y'all close enough. I hope y'all close enough to be making jokes, man. You and jokes, man. You and jokes. Oh, you and these jokes. What Yellow say? Everything ain't a joke. So I hope y'all cool for you to be making them jokes.
I'm cool with him, man. I'm cool. Hey, my birthday coming up in August. So, I mean, he feel free to joke away. Bless, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to joke and not expect jokes back. It's all tongue-in-cheek. It's all funny.
Hey, listen. I'm just saying, man.
I tell you what.
Everybody in the YouTube space does not take jokes well. So
fair enough. Well, then I'll give them a nickel so they can buy them a sense of humor. I know a nickel is cheap, but it's better than what you got. Listen. If you don't, I mean, come on, people. What lighten up. Good Lord.
Listen, man.
I agree with you. I mean, people just
take things personally. Everything ain't a joke, Mandrill.
Streaming for the work crowd.
That was the name of the stream. Everything ain't a joke.
I agree. Everything ain't a joke, but come on. That was harmless.
Have to buy a sense of humor.
Listen. I done seen True bug up over some jokes. So, you know what I'm saying? I you know. We'll see. He seemed to be cool. He ain't in the chat bugging up, so obviously he was cool with it, or he wasn't even listening. So we'll see. But hey, what's up, Greg Bryant? What's up? Another one. What's up, Danique, man? Thank you again for the Cash App love, man. Appreciate you for sure. Let me keep going here. Bam, bam, bam.
I think we've lost our grace. We move in such a harsh and hard way. Grace, compassion, nurturing, nourishing, elegance. How about majesty? How about divinity? How about holiness? This is not a language you hear coming out of most women's mouths, but they'll talk about being a boss, being a diva, being, in charge. And many of us are either not seated in our throne as queens, or we're in the throne and the crown is crooked, meaning we're in the throne and we don't really know how to hold that place without the masculine aggressiveness and demanding and attachment. And it's killing us. It really is.
Man, I don't know. I'm just that whole gender language, man. Demanding, like kids, women, men, that we're all demanding. I think we've gone so long with attaching some of these traits that are now seen as negative to men, that we're just seeing men negatively. I think that's what's like. I think the energy is being transmuted, transferred, whichever way you use the word. When trying to, I know those accidental bars, but I think we need to quit using some of this language and making it a men thing, because anybody can be demanding. A job can be demanding. A garden can be demanding. You know, you got some invasive species of weed. It can demand a lot of time and energy from you. So we need to quit making that a gender thing. And some of these things just need to be what they are. Demanding is demanding. It's not masculine. It's demanding. That's all it is. But and when is your birthday in August, man? After the 22nd? I knew it. Thank you. Yes.
Virgo.
Woo! I was about to say he ain't no Leo. He ain't no Leo.
No, I'm a Virgo.
Woo! All right. Woo, boy. All right, cool. I'm cool. I was like, he is not in the Leo club. All right, cool.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
I like, man, sometimes I get a feel from Leos. I'm like, man, you ain't no Leo. Virgo, that makes sense. All the Virgos, we had that conversation because the Virgos I know are a little, they got some asshole in them. I know I got a little too excited. Man, listen. Because I told Quantum she don't count either because she's a July Leo. I don't think the July Leos count either.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. August 29th.
Yeah. Whoa, no, Leos are not.
Are you a Leo?
I'm a Leo.
Okay. Very August much so, Leo. Bree. Very much so.
Wow, man. I'm sorry to Yellow said he had to drop off. He said a BRB. He'll be back later. Yeah, I admit I'm popular. I really don't like the calling people kings or queens. We went through a lot of trouble to get rid of kings. It is Michael Jackson's birthday. I forgot about Michael Jackson's birthday. That's interesting. Okay. That's what's up.
So in a recent interview with our dear friends over at the Breakfast Club that went very viral for very good reason, you said that women are being trained to be men in skirts. I will acknowledge, I will say I was
She's
triggered.
A trash
I was
Libra.
A hit dog, and I hollered to the entire production team to get you here today because I actually think you're right. I think you're right, Ayanla. I do think that I'll just speak for myself vulnerably. When I think of a masculine posture and what I would expect a man to do in my life, two things come top of mind, and they are provide and they are protect.
Now, why are those two top things that come to mind? Is that because we say it so much? You ain't shit. I ain't shit. Good news is neither is anybody else. Move accordingly, in my opinion. July and August are made-up months. The Roman Empire aren't all the months made up?
Yeah,
aren't all the months made up? Somebody made up all of them.
Shout out to B9 Nizzle.
Libras are liars.
Libras are liars, she says. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can look at Ebony's face and tell she's not hearing it.
I mean, nobody wants to take any kind of criticism that makes them look unflattering. Nobody really wants to take that, even if it's like not even about them specifically, about their group, whatever you identify, man, woman, whatever. Most people do not take criticism well, which I'm not even tripping. Libras are urethras. Wow.
Yeah.
Everything is made up. Stay woke. Except for Ty. Ty Libra, yes. She's not a urethros, whatever that is. Let's say urethras or urethros. I can't see that. My screen is too small. I got it. I have this window shrunk, so forget y'all. Anyway. But yeah, the protection and provision thing. Because see, everybody protects and provides. They just protect and provide different things. That's another thing. I think we have a gendered understanding of something that doesn't need to be gendered. Because when everybody talks about nature, we always go to that nature analogy. The most fearsome creature in nature is typically said to be the woman protecting a mother protecting her cubs. Oh, yeah, no. A mother protecting her cubs. Oh, no. That's the most dangerous animal. A mother or a cornered animal. But either way. So it's like, it's not women can be very ferocious. Women can be very much in all of the same things that people are talking about for men. I just want us to get out of that. Quit ascribing all of these traits to men. We are all just figments of each other's imagination. Solipsism always holds up logically. Okay, all right.
And when my lived experience, and I think I'm still relatively young, I guess, but I'm 40 in September. So, you know, I've had some relationships, and I've yet to find a man who.
Did she say relatively young?
That's a hell of a distant relative.
Oh, boy. She said 40.
Huh?
Boy, she said 40 is relatively young. I mean, compared to what?
No, I wouldn't say so.
They used to be called over the hill.
I wouldn't say over the hill.
That was the social understanding. It was over the hill. Everybody used to give cakes with tombstones on them when you turn 40. Because you're over the hill. You're on the second half.
Yeah, but people weren't living. People, the area that you're talking about, what was the life expectancy?
It was the United States of America.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, it wasn't too long ago. Now, yes, women still probably live to what, 90 now, but it's years. Now we know for most people, 60 through 90 is not really the hot time of life. Right. So we're talking about between 20 and 60 is the bulk of your life. 20 and 60. Everything from 18 below, we really don't count that towards people's lives. We're talking about between 20 and 60. That's where we start qualifying people. It's like she's halfway through that zone. From 20 to 6, she's halfway through. She's at Wednesday. She's at hump day. Ain't nobody checking for nobody socially after 60.
Just holding out hope for at all costs. Man. I'm relatively young. No, just accept that you 40. Yeah. 40 don't have to be young. 40 don't have to be old. Ain't no relative to it. You just 40.
I agree, Arshawn. Like, and plus, if you're taking care of yourself, if you're working out and taking care of yourself, 40, you still look really good.
Yeah, she looked good. She looked great.
You can look all you want. Shit, I done seen some 60, 70-year-olds look good. You can look all you want. That damage, that trauma, that mindset, that shit's still 40. And they come with some baggage.
Yeah, she's definitely coming with baggage. What's up, New Growth, Old Soul? Good to see you. Appreciate you for being in the building for sure. Panel of salt. Ooh, Bree talking trash. We salty. It's all about perspective. At a certain age, you no longer get arrested for jerking on public transport. See? That's why we need bus drivers, because people like Greg got to be put off the bus. Greg got to be put off the bus for jerking on public transport.
Who has shown, I mean, this includes even my father, who was absent. I
come that trauma.
Have a male energy that provided or protected me consistently ever. Mm-hmm. So I think that I have taken on the reins to protect and provide for myself, because what I'm not going to do, Ayanla, is be without. Baby, it's not happening.
Be without what?
So
baby.
That would be without protection, and be without the necessities of life.
Okay.
So
now when we get to that, what are the necessities of life? Because every time when I'm having a lot of conversations with women, necessity means something different.
Necessity is the ability to go out and buy a Tesla or some stupid shit like that.
No. Why aren't the ladies coming up to have this conversation? Who we got up there? We got Bree. She's in there, and she'll come up. But I mean, she's afraid of this conversation. I think Leah, she's out there. Leah, why don't you come up and help us figure this out? What do women mean by necessities of life? Bree, Leah, if you could.
Man, let me. I got it. This is the Yanni. This is the Yannification of Mandrill. Because I could have sworn he just said get some
Quantum?
of these ladies to come up and cam up. I could have sworn he said cam up, and I'm looking at an avatar. I've seen an avatar since he came up here. Nothing but an avatar. But he's talking about the women need to come up and cam up.
I cam up all the time, brother. You know, ain't scared of that.
I'm just. It was just weird to call somebody out for camming up and you're not camming.
Because I cam up all the time, and other people don't. Listen, the point is, I would like to have them engage in the conversation because this is something that I don't understand myself. So I'm trying to get an understanding, and I'm asking the ladies for help. And you, sir, decided to call me out for nothing. I don't understand that.
For nothing? Hypocrisy.
It's not hypocrisy. Not when I can just do this.
There you go.
But see, you got comments over my face because I ain't got nothing to say. That's right, you got nothing to say because y'all wrong.
Ah, boy, y'all funny. What I deem necessary, I'm not fucking camming up because it's not a necessity. Y'all never will.
We never will. Yeah. What?
It doesn't even matter, man.
See, it doesn't matter. She's just talking.
I don't need y'all to understand what women need. LMAO.
See, this messed up. But see, she's married. She's already won it.
Exactly.
So, right. Yeah, so she gets to say that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and she can talk reckless.
Right. She's already won in life. So I mean,
yeah. Hey, thank you, Greg.
You need to stop asking women what they want. They don't know either. That's true. That's true. From my experience, from my observation,
quit whining.
They don't know either. Because they'll ask for things. Y'all don't care anyway. You tell me what we need, Mandrill. That's why I'm asking the question, because I don't know. When I don't know something, I ask.
And see, Bree thinks she's being petty.
Yeah, she's trying to be petty, but it doesn't make any sense. So it doesn't work this time.
See, I'll answer the question. See, this is what you need. This is what you need. These are your needs. This is what women need. That's it. This, those, they, them. That's what the need is. These are the needs in a list. So you can look at and read and refer back to, print it out, hang it on your wall. That's what you need. All right. Simple enough. That's what you need. All right. Okay, cool. Now that we got that. Yeah, Bree has X energy. I need to not be broke. That's not a need.
I need to not be broke.
I need to buy what the fuck I want to buy. I need a new spiritual, and that's the problem with what women need. Y'all start needing random stuff that don't make any sense. Y'all won't be able to find.
What's
and it'll be in the back of the closet with the tag on it.
What's the
Men don't need those too. Everybody needs those. Everybody needs those. That list of that I put up. Bet I need to not be broke to get an above level 2. Women don't know what they want until they decide they want it. Give it 10 minutes, it will change.
Yeah, you give it to them and it changes, dude. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't.
Bree, you want to know what women need? Women need to get over them fucking selves.
Yes, they do. I agree with that.
No, Leah, that's one thing. If you know, you know. Not if you know, you know.
And that's not even an answer. It doesn't tell us anything.
No, that's what they need. They don't need money. They don't need protection. They need to get over them fucking selves. Because all of this is speaking as if somebody gives a fuck about how important you think you are. Nobody cares about how important you think you are. You're not going to impose your level of importance on anybody. So all this, we deserve protection, we deserve provision. Y'all don't deserve nothing but to get the fuck up in the morning and go pay your own fucking bills. You deserve to get the fuck over yourself. Because she's still talking about all these what I deserve, and you by yourself. You deserve to start shutting the fuck up and listen. sick of having to explain the same shit. That's why she's still sitting here complaining about the shit. That's why half the chicks still complaining about the shit. Because you're too caught up in what you deserve. You don't deserve a damn thing. Don't nobody deserve nothing. They don't deserve protection. People who know how to listen deserve protection. People who know how to cooperate deserve protection. Don't nobody deserve nothing because they was born a type of way. Because if that's the case, then I deserve a woman who gonna shut the fuck up and listen. But I'm not gonna get that. No matter what I do. no matter what type of protection I give them. No matter what type of provision I give them. So no, that shit's out the window. You can't keep giving the liability protection. You a liability. I can't keep protecting you. You exist to be a detriment to my existence. I can't protect you. You want to drain from me the thing that I've earned because you think your existence is worth that. No, you don't get no protection from me. I don't protect nobody who think less than me. No, that's for real because I'm dead ass on that. Because that's what this is. I swear to God, women speak so much out of entitlement. It ain't even money. It's just the fact that you think you better than fucking men. Then do better then. Leave us the fuck alone. I swear if you could do better, leave us the fuck alone then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm dead ass serious. Why the fuck is you barking at men about how much better y'all are than us? Y'all want us to no. Leave us the fuck alone.
Man, that's why I'm being quiet. I got no pushback. I got like no pushback. Makes sense.
Women are inherently more valuable. I don't see why people have a problem with that. Why is 20-year-old vagina the one thing every billionaire buys? I'd feel safe in your arms, Yella. Just saying. Dory is crazy. I feel you, Yella. But they think protection is from their perspective. I don't think she said he was a bad person. She just didn't want to date him.
Mm-hmm. I ain't saying bad really person. I'm saying less than.
My thing is, what's the money threshold though? Like how much or how little is she money does the guy have to make to get her attention? Like I wonder what that is. Like I mean, because I want to know if she's being unreasonable or not. First, she is being unreasonable because money is such a big factor in it. You know, that's if you're looking for a guy with that kind of money and you're looking for happiness with that person at the same time, yeah, you're not being very reasonable nor realistic. So, I don't know. Maybe when I become a decamillionaire, I'll holla.
There you go. Let's say we go post-apocalypse. You have to buy everything by bartering. Men better get a skill. Women have something of value by default. It's interesting. That is something you can only learn from asking her.
Yeah, that's true. But, I said, I don't know if you're here at that time, Leah, but I don't know Ebony K. Williams. Never met her. Only thing I know of her is what I've seen on like media, interviews and this interview right here. But I've known about her I've known about her for years, and some of the things that she does, I think, are really dope. You know what I'm saying? Some of the foundations she's a part of, I think they do real dope work. They are legit. So she ties herself and her name and her reputation to really good causes and really good, really good things in life. I mean, so I'm like, okay, on that front, she's, outstanding. Good job, sister. I'll support a sister like that, who's actually trying to do things to help other people. But when it comes to that, they might be fantastic at that, but they might be awful in relationships. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's going on here. She wants what she wants, and there's nothing wrong with wanting what you want. But she doesn't say Or has she said what she offers in kind? Like, what does she bring to a relationship? What does she bring to the guy? We don't know. We know that she's looking for a guy to provide and protect. Well, protect you from what? And what kind of protection is she looking for?
She don't know. Is she? Is she a man? Look, I'm just gonna say it. Fucking in for a penny, in for a pound. Is she a single black woman, either around 40 or at 40? Then she don't know what money threshold is enough. It's just enough for her to just go buy shit every day.
Because if a guy making, like, say a guy making 100, somewhere between 100 and $150,000, right?
It's
But let's say
purchase
she's
power.
making, yeah, let's
It's
say she's
purchase
making
power.
million. Yeah, but let's say she's making millions. Is the guy making between 100 and $150,000 and going to be enough for her? Because 100K, you're still in the 1%.
No.
You're in the top 1% at 100K.
No, he's not.
Damn.
Because he gotta be doing exponentially better than her. So if she's making $1 million, he gotta be making something like 20.
How few guys out there that are available though?
None. That's why these goofies still be up here talking like that.
Damn.
That's why they still be talking like that. I seen this one chick talking like, yeah, because my husband would have to bring in $650K. For what?
Right. And study.
You random ass normal ass person. You a random ass normal ass person. Nothing in your life should require that much money. You don't have to maintain none of that. You're just a normal regular ass person. Why should somebody just bring $650K into your life?
And my thing is this, like, this has been studied and peer reviewed and studied again and researched. At $90,000 a year, even billionaires have been polled for this. They're like, okay, what sum of money would you be happy with where you're like, okay, I'm comfortable, I don't need any more money? $90,000. Everyone, millionaires, billionaires, $90,000 per year. They would say, okay, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all said at 90 grand a year, you don't need any more money than that to be happy. So, I mean, like, and that's the top, the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but I get it. Like, when you're on the roll and you're young enough and you're on a roll, you start making money. Let's see you approach that million. You like, because when you get to make that first million, it's hard. Like, especially when you get real close to it, it's like, come on. Oh, damn. Then the next time you see, like, come on, no whammies, stop. God damn it. Then it's like, come on. What? When it first, you see that zero, one of that zeros pop up, bing, you're like, oh shit. Huh, like you won a Super Bowl. So I get the rush of it, of making money, but trying to make $1 billion, why? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm like, I'm like, why? Don't you want to be a billionaire? For what? Give me a reason. I need a reason to go and do that. Making the money I made so far, that was fun. That was just fun. You know what I'm saying? $1 billion? Why? For what? I don't need all that. I'm good with what I got now. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't hurting. I'm not going to starve ever in life. Unless the US dollar just is not valuable anymore. I mean, because that's it. I mean, so I mean, there's a point of diminishing returns when it comes to money. So I don't understand why it's so important for a guy to make as much as her or exponentially better, other than the fact that she's been indoctrinated into that mentality. It's toxic, it's counterproductive, and it just tells me that she and other women like herself haven't put any real thought into it. You know, like if you make $1 million, good for you, but the first thing you need to do is to put that into an investment of some sort. That doesn't need to be in your account, especially your first $1 million. Every rich person is going to tell you that. And the key to making $1 million, and she's going to want time with the guy. Here's the thing. The key to being well off or rich is you go to a job and you do 8 hours at a job, right? The key is to get paid for more than 8 hours. There's 24 hours in a day. Make sure you get paid for all of them. So you take some of the money you're working with and put it into a side hustle. These days, it's so easy to do that. You can sell like clip art on Etsy. And with the advent of AI these days, you can have AI make you the clip art and just put it on Etsy and sell it. You don't hold any drop shipping, all this other kind of stuff that people can be doing in the background. I mean, it's so easy to make. These are businesses that bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. So I get it, but I don't get why she thinks what she thinks is necessary to have all that in order to have a relationship with someone. I don't get women who say that. And by the way, for the record, because I ain't spoken this yet, the chick you played in that video, in the last video, she was responding to this interview. I forget her name, Marshawn. Yeah.
Yanni.
Wow. See, here's the problem, Marshawn. We ain't got nothing. Black people, we ain't got nothing. We don't own nothing. But see, she need a man who got some money so they can got some money and who owns something. See, women, we own everything. We own this, we own that, we doing it. But black people, we don't own nothing. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I was in the car driving at the time too, man. I bust out laughing.
Yeah.
I was laughing.
Yeah, she was all over the place with her takes. But
yeah, this whole thing is confusing to me, man. This whole thing is confusing to me.
Yeah.
So, but I say that with an invitation, Ayanla, check me. Show me the error of my ways. Tell me how I might be missing it, because I might be.
Okay. I too am an alpha woman. So I understand what that means. And I tell people all the time, I was a horrible mother. I was a great father. And I was a horrible mother because I'd never been mothered. So I didn't know how to affirm, how to nurture, how to nourish, how to guide. I knew how to direct, how to demand, how to discipline, and like you said, provide and protect. Those are masculine energies. And the distinction here is men build, women create. So we know how to build. We know how to get to the external and get the work done and drive and push and do it. We don't know how to be still, create it, and allow it to come to us. And I learned that when I lost everything. I learned how to create because I had already built and it all crumbled. The house, the husband, the job, the contracts, the professional career in the world, stripped of it all the attachments, the necessities of life, the creature comforts, until I was stripped down to the bare bone. And then I had to learn how not to build. Build is external. Create is internal. And we as women have the power to create and attract anything we desire.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
No, it's not, Arshawn. All you have to do is manifest it.
You can't attract anything because some things just simply don't exist. Some things just simply do not exist. And a lot of people's standards are things that just simply do not exist or do not exist in the quantity with which they can run into them or bump into them, or they'll just be in their circle. I'm not going to find a black cookout with a spades tournament on a Tuesday at 7:20 in Wyoming on the side of a rock because I desire it. No, desire does not make everything manifest. Otherwise, every woman would she'd have the man of her dreams. She'd have a pocket full of money. She'd have the best hair. Like the hair would just be flowing, just flowing. And it would change. The hair would just change. If they woke up and thought about having brunette hair or blonde hair or red hair, they would just wake up with the color and the length that they wanted because they could. No. So we have to deal with reality. Iyanla make me laugh sometimes. Yeah. It's your friend, Skin Hotep. Yeah. It's crazy. So sometimes we have to couch our wild dreams and ambitions in reality sometimes. You cannot manifest everything simply by desire. The power of positive thinking is limited by the power of reality. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
But we don't get still. We won't shut up.
Oh, that's
And
true.
we manage everything through fear, control, and survival, as opposed to feeling, knowing, and blooming or flourishing. Complete different thing. But since we've never been trained, we haven't been trained, we haven't been taught. So we do it the way we were taught to do it, which is very masculine in nature.
And see, that's again, I want to come out of that gender because it's not the fear, control, and scarcity. That's not masculine. That's saying that every man, like the natural state of a man, is fear, control, and scarcity. Well, as I don't know how, I don't know when this shift happened, but the typically like the when people skew over into like dysfunctional realms of personality, dysfunctional realms of traits and characteristics, they're starting to become masculine because aggressive was masculine, control masculine, like all this stuff that's now seen as negative has all been ascribed to masculinity. But she also said it was toxic. Like if she was a terrible mother because she was masculine. That means a father, a good, well, she said she was a good father. So why then, if you were a good father, why would this cause any, it wouldn't cause any issue if you were a good father, according to stats that people are citing now, actually has great outcomes, the same type of outcomes for the children that a two-parent household has, as far as like not having criminality and all this other stuff. So if you were truly a great father, you would have had great outcomes. So you were neither a good mother or a good father. You weren't operating in positive masculinity or positive femininity. What you were was an authoritarian who was fear-based. You were a fear-based, paranoid authoritarian who had to control. That's not masculine. That's just afraid. Somebody that has power that doesn't know how to wield it. That's what that is. That's dysfunction. But I don't know why we keep making that masculine. And I think that's why people are so afraid of men, because we made that the vision of men. We made that the idea of men. Women operate like that. She just said she was that person. Women operate like that. It's not masculine. It's just dysfunctional. It's just broken. A terrible mom is just a terrible mom. She couldn't have been a good father, or she wouldn't have been having this conversation. Because even if she was a good father, she would have just assumed because I'm a woman, I was a good mother. You just weren't good. What was lacking was not the gender. What was lacking was the good. You weren't good at anything. And we got to be able to say that without saying I wasn't a good mom because I was acting masculine. No, you weren't a good mom because you just didn't have the skills. And that's okay. You didn't know what you didn't know. But we got to start there. A terrible father is a good mother. Yeah. Go ahead and beat them kids as a man. Beat them kids sideways. You're a wonderful mother. You're a great mom. You're a great mom. It's ridiculous. That's not how this works.
And very external. I feel that you are describing me to a T, Ms. Iyanla. Now, is this why you are conducting a rites of passage program so that women, all of Black women in particular, can learn to create?
Women, so that we can learn our authentic power, that we can learn the distinction between a powerful woman and a woman in her power. There's a distinction, but there are skills and tools and practices and processes that we have to learn. at every age. The 20s have a process, the 30s have a process, the 40s have a 50, 60. We each have a process. And if you don't learn your 20 process, you're going to be doing it at 50. If you don't complete your 30 process, you're going to be doing it at 60. And that means you'll be running on overdrive instead of seated in your power. Yes. And the secrets are there. They come from our culture, they come from our history, but no one has taught us. So, me, as a descendant of Africans and Native Americans, I have a very lovely blend and mix. And I just, for a long time, I didn't do it because women in general, they don't want to hear. They think their way is right. And I'm crazy when I say sit down, shut up, and listen, and you can create what you want. They don't want to hear that.
Well, I want to hear it. So tell me when the sign up is. I don't want to miss it. Let me know when you're taking registrations because I am curious. I had a very lovely single black mother, and I'm going to get to the statistics on single black motherhood and family life. But she was, by definition, more of a father figure in terms of providing and protecting. And I think that's very
and that's another a misconception. If you're the only parent there, you default to having to be the provider and the protector. That's not. If you're there, even if you were to get adopted, your adopted parents become the provider and the protector. If you go into an orphanage, the orphanage becomes the provider and the protector. The child is a ward of someone. Whoever has their guardianship is their provider and protector. So I don't know. Sometimes we just automatically. I don't know why we misattribute things sometimes.
No, it's again, it's women making being a responsible adult as a woman some grand achievement in life. If men do what we're supposed to do, we don't get any praise for that. That's what men are supposed to do. If we pay our own bills and take care of ourselves as adults, then that's just what we're supposed to do. But God forbid that you as a woman have to take care of yourself as a responsible adult. Jesus Christ. Now you a man? Now you leaning into the fatherhood? No, you just a parent. That's what I say. It's always this grand, it's this grand attachment to whatever they do to try to give them this sense of I'm better. You know what I'm saying? My existence is just better. Whenever I do, no matter if it's the same exact thing, it's just better than when you do.
Mm-hmm.
common. So according to the U.S. Census, Iyanla, 23% of households in the country are single-parent households, and we know 80% of them are led by women. How does this affect the child, both little girls, little boys, non-binary children? How does that frame their expectation of women when the mother is in charge?
It all depends on what the mother or the woman demonstrates about being a woman. If she's demonstrating that it's hard and it's rough and nobody's helping me and I got to do this and you got to do it this way, then that's what the children are going to get. If she's angry because she's alone, if she's desperate because if she's not conscious, if she's not careful. I mean, when I look at the damage that I did to my children, not being clear about who I am as a feminine expression of the chief architect and creator of the universe. When I understand that I didn't know that and how to tap into that and the damage I did to my children who I love with all my heart. As soon as I discovered how off I was, I confessed it to them and asked them to watch me as I rebuilt who I was. And I'm still very alpha, but I'm in my throne and my crown is straight.
And she's queen. She's a queen. Actually, you only need the father. Both parents are opposite. And here's what I would say. Because I was getting ready to counter what Greg said. I think this is what I'm talking about, the gender. We need to remove some of this gendering, because a father would also teach you how to deal with people you love. The when we say stuff like this, mothers teach you how to deal with people you love. Fathers teach you how to deal with people you hate. The inherent assumption would be then that fathers don't teach you how to deal with people you love, or that they only teach you how to deal with people you like. Everybody, you learn from everybody from what they have available to them. If the father has both the ability to teach you how to deal with people you love and how to deal with people you hate, great. You've learned 2 lessons from one person. If the mother can do the same thing, great. I just think the more robust and whole a person is, that means the more you can learn from them. If one person could give you all the lessons you need in life and had all the resources, you wouldn't need 2 parents. It's just the 2 parents are more optimal than one because you typically have more heads, more eyes, more hands, more resources. But if one person knew everything the mother and the father knew, you'd only need one source. You just get another dynamic because you get it from 2 angles, from 2 lived experiences. I'm just saying, it's like we're talking about like information. Information can come from any man, a man or a woman. Your experience, the experience is going to be different. Sit in a room with someone dying of cancer. You will be thankful if you had a good mother. I mean, it just feels like you're just discounting the possibility of a man. And I think that's part of the culture. We discount the ability for a man to be compassionate or loving or caring. It's automatic. Even if it's not as rare, I think our culture breeds that. So we make these assumptions. And that's part of what I'm saying is a problem. We start making assumptions based on somebody about gender. A woman can't do this, a man can't do that. That's problematic.
Okay. I'm looking forward to straightening my crown, Dr. Ayana. Let me ask you this. Let's get to the logistics, though. Let's get to the logistics. We know that Black women are earning college degrees faster than anybody else. Many of us are doing like we're doing, Ayana. We're getting those terminal degrees, those JDs, MD, PhDs. We also are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research said that women are now out-earning men yes. in 22 of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, D.C., L.A., you name it. When we talk, and I know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man, so I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together.
And real quick, I get what you're saying, Greg, and I'm talking about you're falling into social conditioning. Like if you looked at boys' children and girl children, there are differences, but boys have also the ability to be empathic. A lot of stuff in our conditioning, in our socialization, makes boys less empathic, makes boys less emotionally aware. We read that out of boys. So like you said, it comes naturally. Like we don't really truly know what naturally is for men and women because people aren't completely free socially to see how they behave. So we've ascribed things to people's nature, which has now become damaging or harmful or toxic. We start ascribing things to people's nature that may not be their nature, maybe their socialization. Because now that you see people are more free, we're seeing a problem with the things that we thought were people's nature, the things we thought were in women's nature. When they have a choice, they're not doing it. The things that we see are that we thought were in men's nature. When they have a choice, they're not doing it. So there are things that are natural, but we don't know it is natural because we have so much structure that puts people into positions, roles that are kind of rigid, and they're reinforced through socialization. Like, I'm not even funny. Like when you say, "Hey, men are not as empathic," it's natural. That's a reinforcement of a standard that may or may not be true. We have no way to prove that out because we haven't seen men just grow up in America without the rigid social structures, without the reinforcement of culture, without the media telling them how they're supposed to behave, and the women telling them how they behave. And this is natural. Oh, you're aggressive. That's masculine. I was a father because I was aggressive. That's all. That is indoctrination. All of that. All of that. And we're reinforcing it. So we don't even get to see men be free or to be comfortable being empathic, because the moment we're sensitive, we're called soft, feminine, gay. I just played a video the other day where the guy decided to take the girl to the place she liked, even though he didn't like it. She said it was soft. It's a result of him having a single mother. He must have been raised feminine. That's reinforcement. And I mean, I'm saying that's problematic. I understand the viewpoint of sociology. I don't buy into psychology, sociology, or evo psych. Our viewpoints will differ here. Got you. Interesting. That's interesting. Come on, Yellen. Go ahead. Play. I said play.
Could build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on the side in my prenup, but I could build with a bus driver. So I think some of the criteria that we look for in the reality of today keeps us unhappy, keeps us angry, keeps us imbalance. And then when the men show up, we want to beat them up because they're not living up to our standards and criteria. And it's not working, beloved. It's just not working. So it's not that it's bad or wrong. It's obsolete. It's obsolete. We have to come up with a new way of being. I don't believe in carrying a man. A man has to do for himself. My son got his first job when he was 9. 9, okay? Because you're a black man, you will know how to take care of yourself. But I think the way we measure it, it's just obsolete.
I think that's a factual analysis. For whatever we want, expect, we're told we were going to get, we got to look at the numbers and what's available on the marketplace. So you're certainly not wrong in the analysis. And Yana, let's.
I wonder what that or was. She could say or. I'd like to hear what she was getting ready to say. But man, Joe, did you have something you wanted to say on that part? That was the big hubbub.
Yeah, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with Ebony wanting what she wants. I'll say that again. There's nothing. I don't see a problem with women being hypergamous. They're supposed to be. Yeah, you're supposed to go for the best option out there for you. You know what I'm saying, and do the best that you can. In that it comes within finding a mate as well, but you have to keep it within reason. Again, there's too much data that's missing. I don't know what her standards are. You know what I mean? It could be a guy who's simply making 6 figures. Or it could be a multimillionaire that she's looking for. I just don't know yet. But it's her reaction to what Ayana's saying that's really getting my goat about it. You know, she's looking like, after this conversation, and Ayana telling her the truth, she really is. But after this conversation, it seems like none of that sunk in. She just kind of dismissed it. You know, and I honestly think she didn't want to hear what else Ayana had to say. That's why she's like, Ayana's like, or yeah. So let's get on to the next point. You know what I'm saying? So nothing wrong with you being hypergamous, ladies. You're supposed to be, but understand you have to keep it within reason. Not everybody. Yeah, is it a top 5% or top 1% if you're in the 6 figures, Arshawn?
It depends on if you're talking about by race. I know by black. I know it's top 1%. I think just period. I think it's top 6%, like 5-6%.
Okay.
I think one time, and that's shifted. I know we've had this conversation like on the internet for a few years now, so I think it's shifted. The percentages are changing. I don't know, but I know it's 10, somewhere between 10 and 5. But again, even if I look it up, I would probably get 3 different answers.
Probably, yeah. And you actually look it up on a government website or something. But yeah, ladies, you're supposed to be hypergamous. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're talking about, I want to be a millionaire, okay? And you're 5'3", and you're 210 pounds. Ladies, come on. I shouldn't have to change anything. Then those are the women who say, I shouldn't have to change anything about myself. No, that's not true. You have to give people what they want. And that rule is universal. It doesn't matter of race or gender or culture. You have to give people what they want. That is a rule. If the person you want wants X, Y, and Z, you have to give them that. But that person who wants those things has to understand that you're going to want things also. That person is going to have to give you the things that you want. So if you want someone who's 6 foot tall, 6-pack, and makes 6 figures, okay. But understand he's going to want things too. And if you don't cut the mustard, he's not wrong for that. He's not wrong. So that's one thing I think on your first date, I think the two of you, your first conversation need to get that understanding of what you're looking for. You're looking for a relationship, or you're looking to just have a good time. And if you want a relationship, what are you looking for in a mate? What are the things that person must have? Get that out in the first conversation and save that person time and yourself time. If you're not what that person's looking for, move on. Move on. Because it's not going to work. It's doomed to fail if you proceed. So,
hey, real quick, man. Yellow said he got to dip up out. I know. I saw his stream started. Man. I saw that notification that your stream started, man. That had to be.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, "What's he doing up here then?"
Yeah. So, your final words, Playboy.
Yeah, this been dope, man. Stream's been dope today. Man, this shit. I don't even have no final words on this shit, bro. Y'all be cool. I'll catch y'all in a little bit, because this shit's weird. I'm tired of talking about these weird ass chicks, man. Weird ass internet people.
Yeah, but it's gonna be on the internet now, man. It's in the populace. No, he dropped off.
Yeah, he's heading out. Man Space Wednesday. Yeah, just wanted to tackle this topic while it was. I don't know. I knew it wasn't something I'll be able to stay with. I wouldn't have cared after too long, so I wanted to go ahead and just get this out the way. And I had too much I was saying earlier that I didn't want to open it up earlier because I had a whole thing going. So I decided to do 2 streams on it.
To be honest, I don't care now. I think the situation with dating and relationships kind of is what it is, and if you're a good person looking for a genuine relationship with a genuine person, it's just going to continue to be difficult to find.
Yeah, there's
no way around it. And I think a lot of good women, are just afraid. I think a lot of them are just afraid. So even when a genuine guy comes along, they're going to have a hard time trusting him and knowing that he's not up to something. Like there's some relationships where and it's usually the woman, they scare themselves out of the relationship. They just scare themselves out of it, and it's unfortunate. It sucks, but that's kind of the lay of the land now.
Yeah. I mean, but I understand, and that's what I'm talking about. Earlier when I talked about compassion, I get it because of the culture. Like, listen to Iyanla, who is advocating for a woman to date a working class bus driver, is also equating a good father to the traits of aggressiveness, controlling, and things of that nature. So if even the best man is being attributed to the traits of aggression and controlling, and I can't remember, there was another term she used, things that nobody wants to deal with in a relationship mentally, if you internalize those concepts over time, to the fact that she's actually trying to speak on behalf of men, but at the same time slighting us as being the nature of men is toxic. So I mean, there's a problem with that. I don't know how much I cut out. I saw myself freeze on my screen, but there's a problem when you're telling at the same out of like speaking out of both sides of his neck is the way you used to say it around me. Like, oh no, you need to get a good man. But when I was in the air, when I was in the energy of a good man, I was controlling, I was aggressive, I was competitive, I was this. So how's a woman not supposed to be afraid when she's also receiving the exact same message, even from women, that the best version of a man, his natural energy is harmful, is controlling. That's problematic. That's what we need to fix the way we think. Like that Miles Monroe clip, our minds are where the battles are. That's where the fear is coming from, because we're telling each other how we're supposed to be, and we're telling each other to show up in harmful ways, incompassionate ways. It's not good. And we need to start saying things differently if we want to see things differently.
Yeah. It's we're being taught the wrong things on one hand, but I think the most harmful part is what we're not teaching. And because we're not teaching each other to be, compassionate. We're not teaching people to be. You're not teaching boys how to lead or what a leader is. We're not teaching boys how to take care of women or treat women. We're just not doing any of that. I mean, it sucks to say, and I hate to say it, but I mean, it is. And people ask me, "What about the Black community?" I said, "No, that's over. We're doomed."
Okay, Greg. And I'm going to answer your question with a question. Do you believe that men's tendency toward aggression is all natural? 100%. It's all in their nature. Because if you answer that yes, I'm going to have to ask you, then where do aggressive females come from? If it's the natural tendency of man to be aggressive, then where do aggressive females come from? Are they half man?
My thing is this: aggressive nature is depends. Like, there are times where you're going to be aggressive. Man's not aggressive all the time. No one is. Everyone has a tendency to be aggressive. Everyone has the ability to be aggressive, but you have to be taught how to manage that. You have to be taught how to manage emotions. Bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not teaching your kid, again, that's another thing we're not teaching kids. We're not teaching them how to manage emotions.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's why they grow up the way that they do. Some grow up way too sensitive. Others grow up way too aggressive. There's no middle ground. There's very little in between that you see nowadays. You got kids fighting teachers in classrooms because the teacher confiscated their cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Like, I would never dream of swinging at a teacher growing up, it's just, we have already dropped the ball. I mean, that's a foregone conclusion. That's just what it is. Mm-hmm. Now we spend a lot of time on these panels pointing out problems, but we spend no time at all talking about solutions. And that's another avenue where we're going wrong. But good luck getting somebody to actually do something about it.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I had fantasies of swinging on teachers. And I just, what I see. And I get what you're saying, Greg. I get what you're saying. But you also said you don't believe in sociology. So anything I would say wouldn't make sense. Because society sets up structures where they set values on people. They set values on action. They set values. Some things are good, some things are bad based on a society. That would be a sociological construct. So, I mean, I don't want to make a sociological argument when you said you don't believe in sociology. So you don't have to believe it's good or bad, but society has rules that say certain things are good or bad. Like somebody who's protecting is good. That's why they wouldn't go to jail for murder if it's self-defense. But somebody that murders somebody would go to jail. Like, so we set up good and bad in society. And again, that's a sociological construct. which again, you said you don't believe in. So I don't want to make an argument that is automatically negated. So there are things that are set up, predicated on societal judgments. There's probably some kind of like a higher level, like naturalism, or there's probably an ism, and I can't think of. There's probably something that you're falling into, but I'm basing this in the society that I live in, with the rules and the systems that I live in, that I'm governed by. So there are things that are seen as good and bad. So there's terms like the toxic masculinity. They're calling it toxic as in it's harmful as in bad. So they're calling it bad, and they're calling those traits negative and harmful. So there's a sociological construct. So that's what I mean when I'm using those words.
Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. We know what you got in that prenup would never be little. It'll never be small, child. That's a big old mound of assets. But that's okay. Let's spend a little more time, just so we're really clear in this conversation, Dr. Van Zandt, difference between masculine energy and feminine energy, because I know that is not necessarily gender assigned, right? This is bigger than that. This is bigger than genitalia, right?
Right. Absolutely. When we talk about man is mind, woman is heart. And so many of us have guarded, broken, closeted hearts that we do everything from here. And here, as a woman that's been educated, that, like you said, has a degree, here will run out. Here will lie to you. This will never lie to you. But we've been taught not to trust this. We've been taught not to trust our knowing, our intuition. But a man can have a good idea and be brilliant, So we want to have good ideas. But for us, our power is in knowing, and it's in getting that intuition and moving on it. That our power is in what we feel, not necessarily emotion, but what we feel in our body. But so many of us are out of touch with our body. We'll give our body to somebody else before we really get in touch with it ourselves, because we're so busy doing till we don't know how to be. When I talk about feminine energy, again, I'm talking about the grace, the compassion, the humanity. I'm talking about mercy. I'm talking about silence, stillness. I'm talking about flow and movement. I'm talking about speaking from a place of intuitive knowing, love. I'm not, and that's not the masculine way. The masculine way is justice, structure, power, it's control. That's masculine. Feminine is dominion, not control. But most of us, many of us, I'm in recovery, are control freaks. So it's a whole nother way, a whole nother vibe. She raises her hand. There's a whole nother vibe that we can tap into, that we have to tap into, because the world is dying. This society, this system is coming down. And if we don't step into our power as women, we're going down with it. With the fall of the materialism and the collapse of the systems and the structures. How many women do you know with degrees could live outside and survive for 3 days?
Now, just real quick, this is what I'm talking about, that we got to get rid of the gendering. She says the collapse of the system and structures, which she just moments before assigned to masculinity. So then through her abstraction, it's the collapse of man. So women would still be left standing because they're not collapsed. They don't have the structure to collapse. So it's like those associations are mental associations. They do program people on modes of thought. They program their thoughts and feelings and behaviors are all linked. That's my only point. Like even her, she'll say things and produce poor thought quality. And like men are mind, women are heart. As I'm saying, women don't think and men don't feel. And because we promote things that say stuff like that in our society. Men are, anyway. No, that's America, not the world. Facts. What I mean by father teaching you how to treat people you hate is how you control your impulse toward violence or aggression. Fathers teach you how to use it properly. Okay. I got you.
Women can try, but it does. The message does hit different when a man tells you. When a man talks to you, the message does hit different. you know. And some things your mother tells you is going to hit you different than than it would if your father told you. I'll agree to that if that's what someone's saying. That's a fact. This whole thing where a man is the mind, woman is the heart. Well, men got feelings too. You know what I'm saying? So I got feelings, believe it or not. Some people would say that's debatable, but no, I actually feel I actually feel a lot. I actually feel a lot more than I care to be honest. War's taught me a lot. Coming up that close to death that many times, you can't help but feel, man. I mean, it's it's crazy. I mean, but you have no feelings there. I actually do, Apex. But I disagree with this whole thing too. I mean, it's just depending on how people don't know what to do with them. Is what it is. No one's taught how to manage it. I said boys have to be learn how to. They be taught how to manage feelings. Well, women do as well. We have to be taught how to manage our feelings, and no one's doing that. And we're not taught what to value. We're not. Like, that's why you got women just like looking for guys with money. Like for Ebony, this whole conversation thus far has been solely about money. For her. I haven't heard her say anything about character. I haven't heard her say anything about love. I haven't heard anything about what she said about how she wants the guy to treat her.
It may not be as important. We talked a little bit about that earlier in the live stream because I played some other clips from her from other interviews, and she's definitely problematic. But we're heading towards the last few minutes of this. Let's get back into it.
On the earth, how many do you know? I know I can. I know what to eat. I know where to find water. I'm not saying we got to go back to the rustic times of the wild, wild west, but I'm saying being in contact and in touch with the earth in a way that empowers us.
Yeah.
Take the pants off. Take the pants off. Let your hoo-ha get some air.
A new definition to breathe again, huh, Jan? Listen, it's funny you say that. I only can survive the wilderness, and I know for sure, and I actually was able to do it for about 12 days because I was on a CBS reality show called Beyond the Edge that challenged me, though. It challenged me to...
Yeah, she said that, and I was going to go back to the dictionary and talk about dominion and its relation to domination and how she said that was not control. Like, dominion and control, like she has some kind of semantic separation between the two, but I wasn't even going to make that point today. I was like, I'm gonna let that one go, but I'm glad you caught it. She's gonna give all the good stuff to feminine, huh? Bitch, what? Matter of fact, let me do that real quick. Let me actually look up dominion, because that and control, dominion, a supreme authority, sovereignty, but I know absolute ownership. That's relation is domination, supremacy, the exercise of mastery, ruling power. I just don't see dominion and control that different. I don't say having dominion and control. I know, but I know there's a connotation that she's adding to that. Okay. Exercising restraining or directing influence to regulate. Okay, so I can see the connotation she's probably going for. It has a more restrictive connotation. But dominion has a lot of restrictions inherent in that too. Anyway, I'm going to let this play. Come on now. Come on.
To do those things in a way I'd never done before. Before you leave us, I need to ask you about how what you're saying for women to sit in there knowing be quiet for a minute, shut up and tune into our bodies, tune into our innate knowing, as I hear you say, but how that works alongside feminism. Because you've said you're not knocking feminism. You're not saying women cannot be police officers, firefighters, play football, or anything else. But you are saying that this hustle culture has given women a need to feel like we must be in competition with men. Is that
feminism for me? Feminism for me is a political or a social construct. And a woman empowerment as a woman is an internal experience that becomes an external expression. I can be solid in myself as a woman. I may not want to play football or carry a gun on my hip. I may not. But the distinction is I'm not looking to anything outside of myself for my power. Not. And I know that everything is coming to me to stretch, strengthen, grow me into my authentic and original being.
And see, to me, when I hear her say that, I just hear agency, which is a human thing. Everybody should want that level of agency.
Inside, I'm not guarded. I'm not harsh. I'm not brutal. I'm not violent. I'm not violent in my speaking. Women speaking today is so violent toward themselves and toward one another. So I'm not talking about a political construct, the women's movement. I'm talking about the move of women for themselves, within themselves, so that they can be themselves in a completely different way.
It's internal. I hear you. I hear you. One thing before you leave us, I have to ask one thing about dating. The reality is there are more men right now, Iyanla, on dating apps and seeking partnership than there even are women, contrary to popular belief. And a lot of men say that they're struggling, probably because of what you named earlier, probably because the expectations of many of the women are out of sync with what society is offering at this point in time, blah, 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 blah. How do women adjust our energy so that we are more successful when it comes to dating? If we're looking to date.
Do we just want to date or do we want to be partnered? That's one thing. If you have in your consciousness you want to date, you can date forever because you're going to find something wrong with everybody. But if you want to be partnered, my question is, what is your vision? What is it that you see for yourself, within yourself, about being in partnership? And are you willing to be in partnership as a woman, or do you want to be a dude having a relationship with a man? And when I say a dude, I mean how you manage yourself, how you talk to men. We got to stop talking to these men like they're boys. Even if he is driving the bus and he don't own it, or picking up trash, even if he did 7.5 to 15, that doesn't give us a right to use this divine instrument called a throat and a voice to demean somebody. But you know what? If we demean each other, we're going to demean our men. And we have to remember as women that while we, you put a woman, she's got to feed the babies. So she's going to do what has to be done. We have a level of tenacity that many men haven't experienced, particularly men of color, because their genetic memory is that if they're too much, if they're too grown, if they're too big, if they're too smart, they're going to get hung. That's a genetic memory. So we have to understand that who they are as men, I don't want to say is fragile or delicate, but it's more sensitive to our mouth. And our mouths are our mouths are out of order. I'm sorry, with each other, but definitely with men. And I'm raising my hand. The only reason I can speak this is because I've lived it. And I knew how my life changed when I shifted from external masculine aggression to an internal knowing where I get my guidance and my direction. It's just different. And most women think it won't work in the world. But look at me. And there are hundreds of me. I'm not alone.
Yeah. Indeed. Iyanla Vanzant, just eye-opening. When I hear you talk and I hear the themes and even the tone, it's very Maya Angelou to me. It's very it
That's
is it is very which is I intended to be the high compliment that I believe you received it. And none of us are beyond growing and learning, so I deeply appreciate the exchange.
Yeah, so I thought I would. Glad we got through that. I think it was an interesting conversation that talks about gender dynamics and relationships, expectations. The last thing she said about communication, that's what I'm talking about. If you see something, say something, because we're passing on a lot of bad ideology. The way Ayala said, the way we're talking to and about each other, that stems from what's in here. That stems from the programming. So what does that the Bible say? It's not what goes in, but what comes out of the mouth that defiles the man. The reason that is because that started here. You had something tainted here, and it comes out of here. So all the mouthiness, all of the disrespect that men and women are embarking upon to shame and blame and explain that SBE movement, all of that stuff is coming from tainted ideology, a lack of like humanism, a lack of care, concern, compassion, a lack of an ability to let go of some past hurts, and it's coming out of our mouths, and it's training up more people in the same image. That's what I'm speaking about. And I'm gonna speak to Greg's point in a minute. Feminine energy, dominion, genetic memory, talking about soft air, hitting the wall, shut up and be obedient, rhetoric, 100% grifted. Let's go. Now, Greg, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a geneticist, but I have heard over long periods of time that animals and insects can carry and know things based upon what their parents experience. I've heard that long time, even from when I was a kid.
I've heard about that in humans as well.
Yeah, and that's where they're going. They said even with humans, there's
The genetic
epigenetic
memories.
memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the things you go through start to encode, like I guess through hormones, through genetics. You and your environment are constantly playing upon each other. So again, based upon what I've heard from actual people who study, allegedly, again, I don't have any proof of this, but I do believe there is some semblance of truth to it, because there are some inclinations that I didn't choose. They're just genetic, and supposedly some things, some parts of your personality are not genetically made up. So it probably came from somewhere. Some of the inclinations that match some of my family's inclinations, and I mean, so there's a lot of things like that I just can't explain. I wouldn't even know where to begin to study it. So for me, it's more like an agnostic approach. I don't know, but I believe a lot of life leans in that direction. Dr. Michael Levin is working on this material today. Okay, got it. Yeah, I won't go into epigenetics. We would be here all to appreciate that. Yeah, because I'm definitely getting ready to wrap up, because this is my second stream and we got through that video. But what did you think, Mandro? What did you think overall? Because you got to see the whole video now. What did you think?
I thought it was a good conversation. Hopefully Ebony took something away from it. I think it's a shame that everyone's just clipping one small portion of that interview, because after that part came the important stuff. Mm-hmm. Like that part of the bus driver wasn't even the important part. You know what I'm saying? When she got into, okay, we as women have to understand. She's like, them as women have to understand that this, that, and the other. You know, it's true. Do you want? No, I don't want the research papers.
No,
I don't want the research papers. No.
I wouldn't understand them. I'd have to believe in the research papers the same way I'd have to believe in the Bible. Yeah. I still have to believe at some point.
Yeah, but no, I mean the important part came out when she says that women have to understand how society has, you know, engineered everything nowadays. So what options are men left with? How like she says, how she as a parent taught her kids and dealt with her kids. So how are women dealing with their kids, since 80% of single parent households are led by women? How that affects the children. All that came after that, and all that is the important part. Women have to put things into perspective. I mean, men do too, but women who are looking for guys with a lot of provisions, I understand not a lot of guys have a lot of ingenuity for that kind of thing. They're not thinking like that. They were never raised to, and they never met people who thought that way. They never met people who use the internet in a fashion that helps them find side hustles and other alternate ways of making money, as opposed to just get a job. get a job, work there 20 years, get a retirement check. To which these days jobs don't even offer retirement checks anymore. So, now what do you do? You know, so the important part came after that, and it's just a shame they're only clipping that one part.
Yeah, and that's kind of another reason why I wanted to actually have the entire thing played, because I thought it was actually an interesting conversation. There were positive things and there were negative things, and some of the things we like the whole gender thing. I think that's something that society sees as a positive, but is becoming a negative. That whole this is a woman's energy and this is a man's energy, and women are not aggressive, but men are aggressive. Like all of that stuff, I think is starting to become harmful because it's becoming like cliched, where nobody has an understanding of the nuance behind it. Like Greg was talking about in the chat, like there's a predisposition for certain things that come from certain people. Now, are we predisposed because of nature or nurture? And that's an argument we'd have to have, because now that I see society, like she said, breaking down and things are becoming more egalitarian, like Ebony said, women are in certain cities, women are making just as much as men. Now that women have choice, we see that there's a heightened level of aggression. Are they, and see, this is what I think is like I don't know, it's a misattribution. They're assuming that they're operating in masculine energy. Well, what if men are not also operating like, because when men are not working and competitive, they start to say that they're feminine. What if the things that we're calling masculine and feminine are just things like ambition and drive that anybody can have if they're free to be, and things that they're calling feminine are more enigmatic, mental, anxious, that somebody who's not excelling against their societal standards would fall into? This could be something that has absolutely nothing to gender. Now that we're seeing people in opposite roles, men are inhabiting women's roles and women are inhabiting men's roles. Traditionally, we're seeing that energies are changing, and women keep saying, I'm alpha, I'm masculine, I'm manly. No, you're just inhabiting the role, and these are the energies that help you succeed in that role. Being ambitious, being commanding, they're just attributes, they're characteristics, they're traits, they're qualities. And I think we have we mess ourselves up by ascribing them to masculine and feminine, because we use it to then demonize the person for not being what they're supposed to be. But you're just inhabiting a trait. You're inhabiting an energy that anybody could be at any time. So I think that's something I think we need to walk away from, in my opinion. Find a partner you would be happy to be with if everything in your life is complete shit. And that's what I've been saying. The people ain't trying to hear me, because women have needs. Then the good times are a bonus. Yeah, we all have both polarities within. Yeah, I'm just saying, I think we just have and I know polarities, I believe polarities exist on a spectrum. I think we have a spectrum of being. I think we have an entire spectrum in all these different domains. Like, what is it called? The golden mean. It's like vice, balance, and virtue. I think there's like a spectrum. There's not just three plots. You can have any semblance of anywhere in between there. The most extreme. So we typically only acknowledge the polarities, but there's a spectrum in between those polarities. Most people are not one or the other. They're kind of like somewhere in the grays. Anyway, that's how I see it. But I hope everybody has a good night. Definitely getting ready to roll up out of here. Appreciate everybody that's been in the chat, especially people from both shows. Man, y'all hung with me for like I want to say at least a part-time shift, about 4 or 5 hours. I appreciate y'all hanging tough with me for about 4 or 5 hours, man. That's a solid bus route right there. 4 or 5 hours. We done been around the city about 10 times. Maybe 5 times. I might be exaggerating. We vary in the degree in which we fall on this scale or spectrum. Absolutely. And that's where we start getting confused. I get your point.
Yeah, but this is too complicated. People want things to be nice and simple and wrapped up in a bow tie, but there's a lot of nuance to these issues that people are overlooking. When you simplify things too wrapped too tight.
Yeah. But I think that would make it simpler. Just to say, this Mandrell's a human. He has the same ability to think and feel as you do. And Ebony's a human. She has the same ability to think and feel as you do. Mm-hmm. How her thoughts and her feelings will manifest will depend upon her history and her circumstances. And that would be super simple And we'd have to be open-minded and just understand that people are going to come in a variety based upon a multitude of factors. You know what I'm saying? It could be simple if we left it open. Like children. So simple even children can understand. But we want to start throwing like masculine, feminine, Republican, Democrat, I appreciate that, woman. I think we add too many labels and identities, and we get lost in the concoction of all those labels and identities because they all come with a specific set of ways that you're supposed to carry yourself, and our minds can't remember all that coding. I'm supposed to be this over here, this here, this here, this here, this here, this here, and then you're just confused, and you start confused. Like the same like a computer. You put too much stuff in a computer, stuff just starts getting scrambled. Bad thinking is much easier and comes more naturally than good thinking. Critical thinking matters. But yeah. All right, man. Final thoughts, Mr. Mandrell. And wait. Isn't today Wednesday? You'll be. Oh no. Wait, you still taking the night off?
Yeah, because I'm falling asleep almost now. I'm very yeah. It's just I didn't sleep last night. I didn't sleep the night before, so I'm gonna catch up on it tonight. My sister is doing the show. She DL Saint's gonna be her co-host tonight. I forgot what they're gonna be talking about. I think it's like how to argue. I think that's what it is. Yeah. But no, I'm not gonna be there tonight. So I'll be there next week. I think. So, but yeah, it was a good conversation. I like the whole video. I wish people were showing the whole interview as opposed to just a small part of it. But I guess it's part for the course. People are trying to push a narrative. And just like all things, when they try to push a narrative, they only tell one small part of it. So people miss the full context of the conversation. That was a small part. And Yana was just trying to get, I like that she's trying to get women to think in a different way and to take everything into consideration. How society has groomed, how this country has groomed our society and let us think that, because women can get a job and everything and take care of themselves, they don't need men. But then you got people like Ebony who's saying, who does very well for herself, saying that she wants one, but then the kind she's looking for, they're not the type of dude she's looking for. So now you have someone like Yana coming in saying, hey, you try looking over here? But because of the way she was raised, Ebony, I think her upbringing has a lot to do with it. The social circle she rocks with, it's a different story. She looks like she's looking for love, but she's looking for a guy with the provision at the same time. That's going to be exceedingly hard to find because it's hard to find an asshole with a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Yes, so let alone a good dude. But good conversation, good stream, both of them. I really enjoy them. And keep up the good content coming, man.
Man, appreciate that. Let me just catch up on the chat. We have the fragility of the male ego as well. She didn't even want to use the word fragile. Yana didn't even want to use the word fragile because she knew men are fragile enough that we would have been upset that she used the word fragile. So she had to change it to sensitive. Us men subbed anxiety with the word pressure because it's manly. Yep, times are changing and we are seeing people unable to adapt. I agree. And quantum, trust everyone until they give you a reason not to. Distrusting everyone leads you to never find any good people. Absolutely. First time I've ever heard a girl say that. What were we talking about again? Uh-oh. What is going on, people? I appreciate y'all so much for hanging out with your boy for 2 shows. I will be back here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Me and my nephew are going to chop it up. My nephew decided he's going to join the pod, like Wireless Woman used to say when she came around. I got a huge podcast. It's so huge. Millennial, Zennial? He's 22, 21, 22. Whatever age that is. He'll be kicking it with me tomorrow night. But he said, we can go ahead and open the panel because he wants to have a conversation with people. But it's all going to be economics. But it's going to be like wacky economic stuff. So I called it What the Heckonomics? Like, what the heckonomics? So stuff about tipping, the new child labor law, the push for equality when things aren't equal, like in the WNBA, like a lot of economic money principle type topics that, you know, anybody can talk, you know, just tap in on and have a conversation about. So it'll be an open panel of me and my nephew kicking it. And not real econ. Again, I'm not a econ student. We're just going to talk about how we experience economic principles, what our beliefs are about all that. Man, forget you about the bell bottles, man. So it'd be me and my nephew. He's actually in finance, but again, neither of us are degree holders, degree wielders. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. So I mean, you know, you come and bring your expertise for sure. Obviously, we'll definitely appreciate you and Nova Rain because y'all be fact checking. Y'all are some fact checkers, But yeah, we're gonna have a discussion. There's a few. I have about 8 different economic topics. But I know the one that I'm most passionate about is the tipping. I'm so tired of tip culture. I'm also going to talk about Kroger. It's one of the biggest grocery employers, or the biggest grocer in my state of Ohio. They have been accused of like indentured servitude because a lot of their employees, like the hero pay was cut. Not only was the hero pay cut, but they also, a lot of their employers, there's a certain percentage that can't even afford to live. A lot of them are on government assistance, but working full-time jobs. So it's a lot of things around economics and how it applies in society, how it impacts us, how we feel about it, perspective, all that kind of stuff. Just that. So it's going to be about, you know, money centered. Ohio still got slaves. Yeah. Greetings. Looks like we're back. Yep, we are back, and just getting ready to wrap up, Brother Vaughn. You just missed it. Yeah, so we had people who they actually did use the word slavery in a post on a union thing. They actually did use the word slavery. Somebody else said indentured servitude, but yeah. So me and my nephew, we're gonna chop it up, and anybody who wants to come up can. Just again, shout out to Truth. He did come through 7 p.m. Eastern time. Truth came in. He said it was his birthday, man. Happy birthday again. You didn't respond after I said anything. I said to go ahead and drop your Cash App. It's your Cash App. You drop that in the chat. But I know I haven't seen you back in here. But since I haven't, I'm moving on. Hope you have a happy birthday. Hope everybody else has a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Mandrill, appreciate you. And man, thank a bus driver, y'all. Thank a bus driver.